have had some technical problems.
Hello and welcome to a very special StreamGeeks presentation. Today we're talking about digital marketing for houses of worship, and we've got an awesome in-office event this week at our downtown Westchester, Pennsylvania location. So let's get started. As you know, my co-host, you can see my co-host Tess Protesto is out due to the weather. It is snowing in Pennsylvania, and it may actually hinder some of our plans, but we'll see about that. So to get started, today is going to be a crash course on all things live streaming, social media for houses of worship. You can do it. And with the help potentially of this book, which we're going to be giving away for free, all of our online courses and information, I know we can help you start a great connection and outreach program at your church. Now, today I wanted to mention that we have an in-office event. We are inviting local churches in our Westchester, Pennsylvania area, whether you're coming from the surrounding area, into our office for a free lunch and learn tomorrow. So we'd love to have you, and you can pick up a free book, free copy of this book, and also meet with us, and we have a cool presentation, and we're going to have lunch together and chat and have fun. So the weather is pending. You know, this event really, truly is in God's hands. Depending on the weather, we'll have to see if people can make it to this event. I live right down the street, so I'm going to make sure I'm here to greet folks who bear the weather. Hopefully, we won't get as much snow as they're predicting. I'm just not sure, but I'm sure that everyone will be able to learn and come out to our studio or give us a call. If you can't make this event, we still want to work with you and help you with your online digital media strategies. So with that being said, we have an amazing giveaway. We have an Easter giveaway. Okay, this is a complete live streaming system for your church that one church in the USA, this is USA only, some church in the United States will win a complete live streaming system, 2 PTZ Optics cameras, a vMix live streaming custom-built computer with 4 HD SDI video inputs, an X-Keys graphics card, and it's all going to be brought to you by Tom Sinclair at Eastern Shore Broadcasting, so we think it's a great giveaway. You can sign up at ptzoptics.com/giveaway. Now, the other thing I'd like to do is offer you my book for free. Yes, you can get the digital copy for free at streamgeeks.us/free-book. That'll get you the book and the audio version that you can put on your MP3 player, listen to in the car. So I hope that is a great resource to get started and learn why so many churches are live streaming and start thinking about the strategy and the implementation tactics that are best for your church. So go ahead and get that. If you can make it to our in-office event, I like to read a hard copy of a book myself. It is available on Amazon, but get the digital copy, print it out, and get started. Now, finally, we are going to talk about how to accept online donations. This is one of the biggest driving force for churches today, whether it's social media or digital donations inside the church itself. We'll talk about how you can increase digital donations and online contributors coming in from all over the world. And that's it. Let's get started. We have a lot to talk about, and I can't wait. So here we go. So first of all, this is a digital marketing crash course for churches. And this is what can happen when you have a full house, when you've got lots of people in your church. What do you do to accommodate the folks that want to watch and learn more about your church? There's a lot of folks that are church shopping, a lot of people who want to peer into a window of your church before they decide to become a member. And live streaming is the perfect way to accommodate the rest of your audience, the people who are thinking about going to your church. And in this video, we're going to give you tips to connect with them, how to help your existing congregation reach out to family members and friends that are connected on their social media networks. And we're going to learn quite a lot. And this is just a cool picture from one of our friends in the industry. So one of the things we're also going to tackle today is working with volunteers. If you're a pastor, if you're in the church leadership, you may be wondering who's going to run all of this equipment, who's going to keep track of our social media, and who is going to use all this technology. Well, we understand that when you're working with volunteers, there's a lot of things to consider, and we're going to go over that in this presentation as well. And how does it all work? Here's another church from Chicago, Illinois, using an iPad to control the camera. How does it work? How is it all set up? Well, first, let's talk about live donations. I want to go over to my whiteboard here and just write down a few of the reasons why so many people are using donations and accepting donations through online sources. So let me walk over to my whiteboard. So here we go. It's right over here. I'm going to walk over. And there's three really spaces. I'd like to just draw a triangle for this because I think that you really should be accepting donations on all three of these platforms in order to be successful. One is just digital donations. So digital donations is a way for your congregation to set up scheduled donations. So every week or every month and budget. It really helps people budget. And that's a digital donation platform. We'll look at some of those. You could use something as simple as PayPal, but there's others that are more specific for churches, such as PushPay, that we'll look at, that really help increase giving, increase first-time giving, and also increase giving over the long term. Now, the other two are the two places that I believe are the number one ways that churches can increase online giving as a whole and increase first-time givers. And that would be, surprising, drum roll please, Facebook and YouTube. So by using all three of these, I guarantee you are going to be able to increase your giving over the year for sure by using these three together. So let's take a look back at our presentation here, and I'll show you how churches are being so successful with online digital donations. All right, so let's get started. And if there's any comments that you want me to talk about during the presentation, this is a live presentation. They'll pop up below and I will answer them. So I'm happy to do that. Go ahead and jump in with your questions. So digital donations, this is just a way for your organization to accept donations directly through smartphones, your website. Everyone has a smartphone these days, and PushPay has some really great information about how they're helping churches increase donations. Now, just a quick moment on wording. The word donation isn't necessarily as powerful as a contributor, okay? A donation or a contribution, a donor or a contributor. A lot of churches have decided to start using the terminology an online contributor instead of a digital donation. If you become a contributor, you're more likely to push that recurring payment button so that you're contributing to something that's ongoing. It's just a moment on wording there. As you can see here, this is the Life Church of God in Christ, and you can see here that they have a little give button right there, right on the chat room. So they've got the chat room here, so everyone who can't make it to church for whatever reason, there are lots of people who are watching from home these days, whether they're not Christian at all and just looking in, or maybe from a different faith, more interested in joining potentially your church. They join here first, and then they've got that give button right there. You can see it's a different color. It pops off right off the website. Now, the simple PayPal button is an easy way to start. It costs no money. Your church sets up a PayPal account. And this is actually from the Grace Anglican Church. A good friend of mine, Tom Sinclair, who's involved in our giveaway, has had this donate button on his church's website for at least 5 years. And he said, not much activity, right? There's not a lot of people that use it. And then one day someone gave $2,400 just out of the blue. So you never really know. At least getting something in place is a good idea. PayPal's free. PushPay does have a cost associated with it, but the Dare to Imagine Church right outside Philadelphia, where we are here, has a great testimonial from Kevin Johnson, kind of serendipitous to what's happening today, where it was a snowstorm and no one could make it to church. Yet Pastor Kevin Johnson was able to broadcast his stream on the internet and still raise as much as they would on a normal Sunday. Okay, because they had a digital donation system in place. Now, social media giving is where I see the biggest change online right now, and so many churches have not gotten set up properly to accept these donations. So the first thing you need to do is be set up for an authorized 501c nonprofit, obviously with the government. So you need to be set up that with the IRS. Once you're set up with the Internal Revenue Service, you can then show your paperwork and show YouTube and Facebook that you are a nonprofit. Once you've done that, you can now accept donations on both Facebook and YouTube on behalf of your church tax-free. So these are tax-free donations to your church. Here's a tip. Now, once you're registered as a nonprofit on Facebook, this is so important. Every time that someone mentions you in a post or on a page, they'll be asked to add a donate button to their post. So other people can actually encourage donations on behalf of your church. Here's an example here. You can see there's a donate button there, and folks can just click that right on their phones. And this is using the massive scale of social media. So very interesting stuff. Now, a little more on strategy here. We have to think about social media as community building. You know, a church is much like a congregation, right? Social media pages focus on building relationships. So don't forget, when you've done live streaming, maybe we can show a comment here, Melissa, on the screen, just as an example here. Reply to the comments. Maybe even have an intern or someone on your team. Actually, here's a comment here. I think that was from the last show. Have someone on your team potentially go through and bring a list of prayer requests to the pastor, and have the pastor go ahead and respond to some of these prayer requests that are coming in through social media. So more on social media strategy here. When you stream your services, it's important to go ahead and schedule them ahead of time. So definitely schedule your streams and share the upcoming streams on all your social media pages. Create a post before you go live so people kind of know what's happening, and maybe even ask your audience to don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to do the things that you want to do. Okay. Next. So we're going to add a donation page button to your Facebook page. Now, there are some churches that don't want to do this. Some churches don't want to be so upfront about requesting donations on their Facebook page. Maybe they just want someone to send a message instead. But this is an option if you'd like. I understand if your church wants to kind of wait for the ask, don't want to ask for donations right up front. I've had a lot of different conversations with churches regarding that. Now on YouTube, there is an ability to ask for a donation through YouTube cards. That's a feature in the YouTube editor. And Super Chat for Good is coming soon. That is coming from Google, and Google is allowing folks to accept Super Chats for good directly through a YouTube channel. Now, here's my number one tip for churches using social media. Social media is a way of connecting people that know each other already and have connected with each other already together with the things that they like and the things that they love. So clearly you want your congregation to like your page, because that will show that their friends like your page and your church's page. But here's a really great tip that you can use, is that you can ask your congregation to check in to the church on Facebook when they arrive. Now, when they do that, all of their friends are going to see where they are. It's Sunday, they're at church. They click the link to the place that their friend is, and then they see a live stream, a real live window into the place that their friend is. This is a great way to get new people to come into your church. They see their friend at church. They see where you are and what's going on. And I think that's a really great tip. Now, here's a thought. Now, we do need to consider privacy, and we do need to consider what people are doing when they're live streaming. So here is a bulletin from our local church here. And you can see here that they have a little information about recording practices. So this simply says some of our worship services are regularly recorded and posted online. If you have a concern, please contact the pastor. And then later on in the bulletin, there's more information about where and how to find the live stream for your church. So these are things to consider, and I would highly recommend putting that into your church. So should churches really be live streaming? Absolutely yes. You work so hard We all work so hard for that great Sunday service to be available for everyone. Why not capture it and allow it to be shared? I have stories of people who are going through surgery, who are homebound, who are watching their church services from home. We have a couple stories that we might have time to tell, time depending here, about families who've been moved away from their hometown church and now can reconnect with a pastor that they've known their whole lives. So it can be complicated. Just look at all the levers and buttons on this audio board from the Olivet Methodist Church in Coatesville, Pennsylvania that we help them with. But it doesn't have to be that crazy. If we think about it, we can take that giant mixer and take the XLR inputs to a USB connection to our live streaming computer. That's all we really need to do to get all that great audio, the microphones, everything that you have in your church into a streamable system. Now, when you're thinking about live streaming, there's a lot of different options, right? There's these expensive new tech TriCasters. You might have heard of something called vMix, which is what we use here in our studio. There's Wirecast, which a lot of people like. It's a great software. There's OBS, which is completely free. There's a lot of options. And so I decided to create a course on how to think about all of this, and it's included with the book so that you can skip a bunch of every time I hit the volume button, this turns on. You can skip a lot of the research stage and get right into whether it's your media team or someone on your team, get you past that steep acceleration learning curve and skip that slow beginning stage and try to get up to the point where you're really creating something that really justifies what you're doing. So I'm not going to go over all of this, but this is some of the things you'll find in the course. All the breakdowns of how to use OBS and Wirecast and vMix, how to use multiple monitors and what are the best practices. We even talk about analytics. And if your church has a band, a lot of churches have an on-stage band, how can we work with the band? How can we use their software to control lighting, to control different things? We really get in depth in this course. And so you're going to learn quite a bit. There's a great case study from the Olivet Methodist Church there. There I am kind of tuning some of the things, and we go over so much of it. And here's kind of why we do this. I want to just read this, and I'll just walk kind of as I read this. Tori Parker says, oh, I was reading it off this, and then it went away. Tori Parker says that she's glad that she can be there, and she was going over surgery. Agnes Miller says, what a blessing to happen. Though I'm not convinced things just happen. To check my Facebook feed just a few minutes before the 10 a.m. morning and discover that the first ever live stream of, this is the United Methodist Church of Olivet in Coatesville, and then to discover Pastor Spalehalter was participating, and the service included a baptism of his great-granddaughter. It was 40 years since his family lived in Coatesville, but now it's such a joy for them to participate online. So these are the kinds of things that you will be confronted with. And it looks like we're getting a couple comments on that I'd like to send up if possible. Let me see if I can send them up. All right, here we go. So we have a comment from Daniel Wright. Ba-doom. What is going on? That's not right. We have regular viewers of our live stream from our local assisted living and nursing homes. We also have homebound members watch regularly. Let me just see what is the automatically update with most recent titles. I think that's why. Very nice. Thank you for sending that, Daniel. Oh, there is something wrong with our social media integration. Okay. Clear the queue. All right. And thank you so much for the comments, everybody. It's so nice of you. I thought you could only attach a Facebook Live donate button using the iOS Facebook app. Well, that's not working. I'll just read these out. So I thought you could only attach a Facebook Live donate button using the iOS Facebook app. If we are broadcasting using Wirecast, can we still add a donate button in the church's live stream? Yes, you can. There's a great tutorial on that on YouTube from Wirecast. They did a really great job on that. Also, if you're setting up your scheduled stream, and now keep in mind, your church must be registered as a 501c with Facebook in the category of nonprofit. okay, it won't work unless all that's set up on your Facebook page. So once all that's set up, if you tag your church in that, that will work. All right, so that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. We can spend a little bit of time with you in a post show here answering questions. So get your questions in. And I hope that that abbreviated version, very much abbreviated version of an entire book and online course for your church, audiobook. You can get the book and audiobook for free. The online course is free as well. So get started. We're here to help. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Take care.